Hello there. What is going on, everybody? We are doing some painting today, and I'll show you a little bit of what I've been working on. Started yesterday, and kind of started a few days ago with assembling all of them. But this is, we're going to be painting the Malign Sorcery Kit for Warhammer Age of Sigmar. And basically, these are a bunch of different endless spells, manifestations, something I never used to use in 3rd edition. And since they just came out with 4th edition, they made them free for everybody. So it's like, if you're not using them, you need a really good reason, because why wouldn't you want to use something that's free? As long as you have a wizard to cast them. And so the idea of, if you're not familiar with Warhammer Age of Sigmar, you have your normal fighters and ranged combatants, but you also have priests and mages, or wizards rather, priests and wizards. And the wizards, well, of course they can cast their normal spells. There's certain spells they can normally cast, fireball, whatever, chain lightning, all kinds of cool stuff like that. There's also manifestations that they can summon. So mages have the ability to potentially summon things, and so you can summon these guys that'll stay on the battlefield, and they'll go around, and sometimes they fight, like this guy. Sometimes they do things like this guy, and maybe he's like a little thing that buffs mages. Then there's this thing right here, which only moves side to side, and does stuff. So it's pretty cool. Now there's groups. So you'll pick a manifestation lore, and you'll say, hey, you know what? I'm going to be these guys. And then it's like, all right, you have access to these 3 summons for this game. And that's part of your army building. So one of the ones that I started working on was this group here. And I really like the way this guy came out. And so I'm going to try and do the rest of the stuff in his group to kind of match him. So I've got these guys that all I did was a little kind of purple on there. And I'm going to try and do the chains for them. And then I've got this guy. I don't even know what he does yet. I haven't really looked him up yet. But this is a larger group of these 4. And then there's this one, which is the earth is coming up, and it's like a earth avalanche or tidal wave, and there's skulls in there and stuff like that. And I try to make it mostly brown, and I put a little bit of the purple in there to make it look like there's a hint of magic in the earth. Like the earth doesn't normally do that normally. And but yeah, so that's what we're gonna be working on today. I did get a new trick to improve my dry brushing. I used it heavily on this guy, and I think he came out really well. Is that instead of using an old brush, because what I used to use is an old brush or something like this. The problem is these would get kind of hard, and sometimes when if an old brush would get too old and nasty. This one's not as bad. This one's kind of soft still. But sometimes I would use a brush, grab one, it's oh, this one looks good, and I find out it's too hard. And then when I would go to dry brush, it would actually scrape paint off. So it would do the opposite of what dry brushing is supposed to do. So I actually went out and bought some makeup brushes, and these are fancy ones. They're really, really nice. Ultra soft, and they end up putting a really good flavor of dry brushing all over. Really, really nice. And again, it hits all those raised edges in there. Makeup brushes are where it's at. I've heard people say it for years, and I just never went out and bit the bullet and did it. And yeah, I did it, and I brought some makeup brushes. I bought a whole kit of them. I probably bought too many, and so yeah, I bought a whole kit. So I got extras. So this should last me forever, hopefully. And this guy's, I think I'm actually kind of mostly done with this guy. I could do a little bit more on the spikes, but he's so close. I'm like, all right, let me just set him aside, and I'll work on some of the other stuff. So I'm gonna work on these guys, and I'm gonna get some paint. So I'm gonna try and just do some metallic. I don't want to spend too much time on endless spells. I want to get some brown for the dirt. I'm gonna leave the red inside, so it's if the earth is cracking open, I want the magic color inside, these are coming out of the ground. So that's definitely an aspect. So I'm gonna use some flat earth for these, and yeah, and that's what we're gonna do. Let me get my brush, and we're gonna have a good time. Let me see if I can't set up the camera angle a little better. There we go. Cha-cha-cha. All right. And see, so a lot of people will paint on a pretty surface, and I don't paint on pretty surfaces. I paint on very ugly surfaces because I just have this table. And this used to be a white table years ago. It's not pretty anymore. It's not. There we go. So how's everybody's weekend going so far? I am personally thrilled this weekend because my wife is coming home. She has been out of town for like a week and a half, and I've had to play dad, and well, I've had to play dad. I've had to pretend to be a dad, even though I am a dad. I've had to play mom, I guess you could say. Yeah, and so that has been not always the most fun. So yeah, that's been happening. Been cooking and grocery shopping and getting the kids to school and picking the kids up from school. It was raining yesterday, and I had to go pick up one of the kids that normally walks home. I had to go pick him up, and he didn't know I was there to pick him up. And so when they finally released all the kids, he went and got on his bike and went home. And I'm like sitting there stuck in car line, and I'm like, what are you doing? I'm right here. So it was like an hour waiting for him. And then he just, so because it stopped raining, so they let the kids out. And meanwhile, all the parents are stuck in car line, and then we didn't have to actually get in car line. So if you've ever had to pick up kids from car line, you know that it's usually a nightmare scenario. Okay, so that's just the first step, right? I'm going to do all three of these guys. I'll do all three of them. I probably would have wanted to make that a little darker. Let me see. I'm going to maybe mix some black into it. Or do I have a darker? I do have this chocolate brown. It's running low. I don't have too much left in it. I mix a lot of colors. All right, we got chocolate brown. I'm going to mix some chocolate brown in there and see if that comes out a little better. Because usually my dirt effects are a little darker than this. Yeah, I like that better. Okay. And the cool thing with doing dirt is it doesn't even have to be. Do you think, Defective Dice says, do you think you'll have another look at Drop Fleet Commander with a new edition coming out? I might, man. Honestly, that game seemed so cool to me. I don't know if anybody around here is going to play. And that's really one of the biggest things is like, if a game can be really, really cool, but if I don't happen to know anybody who wants to play it with me, then that's rough, you know? So that's where a lot of the difficulty for covering every which game kind of springs up from sometimes. You know? All right, there we go. I like that a little bit better. That's a little darker. We're going to keep going with that. But yeah, so my wife went off to Europe for a week with her tennis coach, which was really weird. I don't know what's going on with that. But apparently they had to do some training. And yeah. So she's not even very good at tennis. Like I've never even seen her play, but apparently maybe that's what the tennis coach is supposed to do. He's supposed to get her able to where she's able to hit the ball. I didn't even know she liked tennis, but yeah. But she's coming home tomorrow, and it's gonna be exciting. The kids are excited. They miss mommy. All right, I'm gonna put a little bit of this in there too. A little bit. And I'll put, the reason I'm not doing the rest of the base is because I'll put some terrain effects around this later on. So I've been reading a new book lately, or a new book series. Some of people in my Discord have suggested, because I finished up all the books that I was reading, and I'm always looking for suggestions. And let me know in the chat what you guys are reading, because the pufferfish skull looked really cool. What model is that? Benjamin Watson says. I will tell you in a second. I'll tell you a secret. Since I haven't been playing Age of Sigmar forever, I don't know what everything is called. But I will do a little thing where I write down underneath the model what this model is called. So like this guy as, boom, the Soul Snare Shackles. You see that? Boom! It's like I have this chrome pen that I use, and I write down what the model is called underneath the base. Very cool stuff. So for this guy, he's massive. He is the Purple Sun of Shyish. The Purple Sun of Shyish is his. He's from the Malign Sorcery pack, although if you look him up, like it's weird because the Malign Sorcery, a lot of the endless spells are like out of print, and sometimes they have them at like the GW store in England, which would be cool to go because there's a lot of really hard to find stuff. But I got this one off of eBay because it comes with 4 whole different sets of endless spells. So it's a tremendous variety for any army. And I was running like rats, and I've got an ogre army now, and ogres don't have specific endless spells just for them. So yeah. So I was like, well, I'm gonna have to use these. And now I have like 3 different types of spell schools to be able to mess with and experiment with. So that's an exciting thing. All right, now I'm gonna get my metal from here. Now I have a trick for metal that I love to use, and it's super easy. It's Vallejo's Model Air Silver. This is the greatest silver of all time, in my opinion. Vallejo's, I like Vallejo paints. I use mostly Vallejo paints. It's not a sponsorship or anything like that. Although Vallejo, if you want to, you want to work together, let me know, because I spend a lot of money on Vallejo paint. Well, not that much anymore. I've got so many right now. But yes, so I normally will use this. Now, this could totally work, but this will make them very, very bright. One of the things you can do is you can mix just like a single drop of color with it in this to make it a different type of metallic. So like if I were to take a drop or 2 of emerald and put it in there, I'd have this shiny metallic emerald, and I could put a couple more drops in there and we'll dull it out. It'd be a little less shiny, but still subtly metallic. There's another one that I have. I'm going through my little drawer here trying to find that is also really, really good, and I'll be using later. It's also an air. So the air paints are very thin normally, but you can still paint with a brush using air paints. Absolutely can. I've sometimes used this Vallejo Golds. This one is not as bright. This one's just okay. If I want to do gold, a lot of times I'll use Retributor Armor by Citadel, because this one is really bright and vivid, but this one it's thick also. So sometimes I'll do a little bit of both. Like one of the things I've did on Kragnos, who's one of the ogre leaders, I posted pictures on my Instagram, is I made all of his chains gold, but I painted this so that they were kind of like a white gold, a faded gold, and then I did the highlights and special pieces on the Retributor Armor, so it popped, so they gave it some depth and some complexity, and I liked the way that turned out. But for here, I'm looking for, I have a darker, oh yes, this is it, this gunmetal. That Rob Human, big fan of Army Painters Metallics. I haven't used Army Painters Metallics yet. I may check them out, since I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Rob. I might check those out. But yeah, this is a really nice metallic too. This one's a little darker. It's a gunmetal. I'm working on some ogre, their faction terrain. So they have this pit, this cauldron here. I'm going to be painting this, and I think gunmetal is a really good color for a cauldron. And yeah, it's so that's going to be fun for that. But for these guys, I could do either one. I could do like a mix of the two. I could do gunmetal for this, or I could do silver, because I think gunmetal would be too dark, and I think silver would be too bright. So I'm going to mix these two, because I am crazy. Oh, it helps if you shake them first. I have got a little paint mixer off to the side there. All right. You don't have to make the boop, boop, boop sounds, but I like to. All right, a little bit of that. A little bit of this. All right. I'm going to Mix those up a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. All right, let's see. Now, I'm not sure if I want to do this like fully or if I just want to kind of get the outsides and leave a little bit of the hints of red on the inside. So there's like traces of magic that can be seen on these guys. I'm not sure. I'm not sure how I want to do it. Because, again, the endless spells aren't usually like the focus of the army. They only come on for a little bit and then they come off, so like there's certain things that I don't want to spend as much time on. So like I may leave some parts like that with some of the kind of pink inside there. I may do that. I was thinking that could look cool. Although it would probably look cooler is if I did them all in silver and then, airbrushed a little bit of the pink on from like a distance to kind of make it kind of have that glow look. But I don't think I could get it because I would want it coming from the bottom to the top, so it'd be harder to do that. So actually, it would make more sense if I just kind of did the tops of these and then left the bottoms a little bit more red. That might make more sense. Yeah, let's try that. Wait a second. Oh my gosh! You know what I just realized? This is a sprue bit in there that I never cut. Has that ever happened to you before? This is the first time it's ever happened to me. I have a sprue bit on the primed, assembled, and the model I'm actively painting. Now I gotta get my clippers. I don't even. Oh, that's funny. That's really funny. Wow. Okay. Let's find this stuff. Come over here. Where are we? Where's my clippers? Oh no, where did they go? Here they are. All right. I'm like that part doesn't look. That's a bit of sprue right there. Get off of there. Oh my goodness, that's funny. That's so funny. Okay. All right, now let's get back to it. Where were we? All right. So yeah, I think I'm just going to focus on hitting the tops of the chains. Oh yeah, the bottoms don't have that much in there, huh? Yep. All right, let's see. AI Clad has some good metallics if you're a fan of lacquer paints, which I'm not. Oh, okay. Who is the one company that has some really good ones right now? I know my buddy Sean has started using one of the new, not brand new, but like relatively new to him brands. Monument? I don't remember. Okay. But I will do the shackles in full. Yeah. And so it's nice to have something that's kind of easier to do because I've just finished doing a whole ogre army, and that's what I was doing while my wife was out, and kind of helped keep me sane, give me something to do, take my mind off of the feeling of abandonment. But yeah. So what else has everybody got going on this weekend? Playing any games? Getting caught up on any projects? I should mow the grass. It's been raining, so here in beautiful Orlando, Florida, it had been raining every day, and I just put a bunch of like weed and feed in my backyard to kill a bunch of weeds, and I think I put too much down. I killed all the grass, so I had a bunch of dirt, and it rained every day, so it all just turned into mud. It like even killed the roots of the grass and stuff. So yeah, like just total mud. Rob, you've been curious about Warcry. I played Warcry once. It seemed okay. It seems like way too quick. And maybe that's the idea, it's trying to be a quick game. but I feel like Age of Sigmar's Spearhead is the better option. Spearhead is a very fun game, and it acts as kind of like how like Legion has that little Spec Ops thing. It acts as like a natural gateway into Age of Sigmar, but it's not so removed. It's not like Kill Team. It's like 5 guys, and now you have to upgrade to 300. Like Spearhead is like half an army, and it plays a little more simply. They have special, special cards, special units. The units have like half the rules on them, or not even half the rules. Like they only have like maybe 3/4 of the rules. So, and some units are basically the same, but and they all feel mostly the same. There's just like subtle variations, but I only tried Spearhead once so far, but I'm like, this is cool, and I could do it again, and plays a little bit quicker. Because Age of Sigmar it's a complicated game, but it feels fun the whole time. It's like one of those longer games that I just like the way it feels and plays. It's very rewarding. It's very swingy. You can still lose, but have like epic moments that happen during the game that make you feel very accomplished and satisfied. And that's one of the things that has made me stick with it. And so and then the models, of course, are usually really, really cool. All right, so that one's done. Okay, let's do this guy now. And what we can do is I can put like some Nuln Oil or Agrax Earthshade on this a little bit later on, if I want to give the. And I don't know if I will, because I don't think that I want these chains to be grimy. Because again, if they just came out of the ground, well, they could have Agrax Earthshade on them. Actually, they could be dirty, but maybe not grimy. They shouldn't be like rusted. They're like, in my mind, they're brand new chains. They've just been summoned into existence, so they should be kind of pristine. 3/4 is more than half, right? Wait, I don't understand. Like, did I not say it clearly? That's what I was saying. Like, if they have. At first, I said they only have like half the abilities. I'm like, oh no, that's not true. They have more than that. They have like 3/4 of the ability. That's what I was trying to say. So if it didn't come out like that, I apologize. That's what I meant to say. So the point is, on Spearhead, you have special unit cards for any given unit, and they're mostly the same as the full Age of Sigmar unit card, with their stats, or they call them War Scrolls. But there may be like 1 or 2 rules missing, so it's like 3/4 the same. Or in some cases more than that. It's mostly the same. And it's really most pronounced in like bigger units. Like Yndrasta has a reduced power level from how, because she's made much too strong in the main game, and so they had to nerf her a little bit for Spearhead. Although she's still cool, so that's what I mean by that. Like, yeah. Leaving some of the pink on there, so it'll be like magical. We'll see. I've been watching The Office again. Have you guys, any of you guys Office fans? I used to. It's a show that I watched a lot with my wife when we were dating, and when it was live, not when it was in reruns. And so it's I think it's one of the first shows we watched together. And so like it always makes me think of her. So if she's ever out of town, or if I'm feeling lonely, I'll put on some familiar show that we used to watch together. Like I'll put on The Office or Parks and Recreation. If I get really lonely, you want to hear something sad, and I don't mind sharing, because it's not really sad. It's a little sad, but I think it's I don't know. I'll put in the other room. I'll put like The Office or Parks and Recreation or something like that on, like in the bedroom. So this way I passively hear the noise in the house, and I think that's like, it like tricks my brain into like that she's still here and she's just watching TV in the other room. All right. Yes, these guys. That one's about done. Thereabouts. And one more, and then we're going to move on to a different one. One more. We're going to move on to a different one after this. Oh, for some of you old school video gaming fans, I was delighted to finally see that one of my favorite games of all time that has been completely gone and banished and not licensed for resale again or anything like that, and had been completely gone, has finally made its triumphant comeback. And it's called Marvel vs. Capcom 2, which is really the best fighting game of all time. I've got to say, I think it counts. The best fighting game of all time, in my opinion, of course. But yep, picked that up and was playing it the other day. And what's great about it is some games, it's like when you get some old games, there's the nostalgia, and then it kind of goes away. I'm like, all right, yeah, that's it. I don't want to play this anymore. But that one, no, that one's really good. Soul Calibur 3. Soul Calibur was really cool games. The Soul Calibur games were really cool. They were kind of freaky too. There's something about, I don't know what art style you call it, but like this Japanese art style of like this grim dark thing, like Elden Ring, I think is in like the same kind of setting or art style, where it's just it's creepy, to me. I find it creepy. Doesn't mean it's bad. Like Elden Ring is an incredible game, but also very creepy and very hard. I have a love-hate relationship with Elden Ring. I hated it at first. I was streaming it when it first came out. I don't know if you can find this, where like I said I got so frustrated with just dying over and over again and not having any idea what to do in Elden Ring. I did a refund on it on Steam. I think I quit. I think I like Alt F4 quit in the middle of my stream. Yeah, it was a very, I was just like, I think I even said, I think I swore. I was just like, screw this. This is stupid. I want my money back. Oh, Robbie, you were a little behind. Yeah, that happens with the lives. That's why I like YouTube's live stream stuff, because you can kind of pause and then catch back up. It's good stuff. Good stuff. I'm gonna take you for a ride. But yeah, like Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it does like, I don't know, it still holds up. It's still a great game. I would love to see a remaster of it. That's a game, like the gameplay's still top notch. I would love a remaster of it. Not a fan of the Blood Souls, Dark Souls. Yeah. They're a really tough nut to crack for me. They're punishingly hard, and I usually don't feel like I'm having fun. I eventually did have a little bit of fun with Elden Ring, but it took me a while, and a lot of it was because I had a friend that was playing also, and we were kind of comparing notes, because there was no instructions for the game. There was no like, I don't know how to play this game, and the only way to get started was asking other people, and I eventually found other people that knew a little bit more about it than I did, and so kind of got there, and then I found like a cheat spot where I could like level up for free, and so then I was like, okay, now I can actually compete. And play and explore, and the exploration aspect of that game was really cool. There was a charm to it that I was able to find, but it's still very difficult. So again, that's why I say love-hate. I loved that aspect of, hey, I can explore and I can go wherever I want, and that could be really cool, and I can try to fight bosses that I shouldn't be able to beat, but I can still give it a shot, and we'll see what happens. And so I was like, that's pretty cool. All right, so I've got this thing. This is called the Malevolent Maelstrom. The Malevolent Maelstrom. And on the box art, they have it. Oh, they still have it. Oh, they have it more purple than red, and they give it like white stuff. I kind of like that, but I'm gonna go with a different color. I might use that emerald. I've got blue green. I've got a lot of blue green. Blue green will work here. Blue green will work, and I'll do some white and some blue green. I'll start with the blue green, and then I'll mix in some whites, and we'll try some wet blending on this. I'm going to use a bigger brush since I've got to get all this down here. This is oh, this brush is getting a little hard. I need to. There we go. That's better. I love blue-green. Vallejo's blue-green is one of my favorite colors. And I know that everybody sees colors slightly differently. I don't think people, generally all like look at red and see the exact same thing. But for me, this one just really, really delights my eyes. It's just such a bright, beautiful color. I started playing World of Warcraft the other day, and man, I hate it so much. It's so boring to me. I don't get it. I'm trying to do this thing where I just do the quests and level up, and like almost every quest is just like, go find this guy and talk to him. Go find this guy and ask him for help. Tell him of our plight, And then like every 10th quest I get once like, oh, go kill, 10 dragons. Oh, okay. And then come back and then tell him what you have done. Oh, go deliver this egg to the nest and tell so-and-so that you have delivered this egg to the nest. It's just a bunch of walking around. So it's infuriating. I don't know. And what infuriates me is I used to play MMOs, so I was expecting that I was going to like this game. And so I bought a year subscription all at once. So I'm like, I better keep playing it because I already bought 12 months of subscription for this game. I'm like, ugh. So I feel like I have to play it now. And that makes it even worse. Right? This feeling of you have to because you spent all this money on your subscription. So you have to play it. I'm like, ugh. So terrible. It's not that terrible. I'm sure it'll be better once I get to max level and I can actually do groups and dungeons and raids and stuff like that with people, But right now, and not knowing anything, because I'm sure that I have to probably get a UI or something and I have to learn a little bit more about the game. But it's not fun. It's not fun. It's confusing too. I don't think it's very new player friendly. I know that there's probably not that many gamers who have never played WoW before. And granted, I've played other MMOs, so most of the concepts are certainly familiar to me. But yeah, it's frustrating. Okay, that's kind of the overall gist of what we're going for. This how you don't miss EVE Online for the same reason. So I think EVE Online is so cool because it's a game that has lasted for so long. And I like the idea of a space MMO, but I couldn't stand the grind, so I never dove into EVE Online. But they have a board game coming out that I backed on Kickstarter that looks really cool. So this is one of my favorite whites, right, from Vallejo, and the reason it looks so mangled, I don't know if you can see teeth marks in here. My puppy River got a hold of this a few months ago, and I don't know how she got it. I didn't see her come out into the garage in my painting area at all, but she got it, and I was like, wait, she's being really quiet. What's going on? I saw her on the couch with this in her mouth, and she didn't have it for very long, but she had paint. The paint was all over the couch. It was all over, everything, and it was crazy. All right, so I've got a lot of water on my brush and just a little bit of white paint. And we're gonna try some wet blending here. Oh, this is so nice how it just kind of blends in. I'm gonna try and get the edges of some of these pieces. I should probably be using a smaller brush for this, but I like the bigger brush here. Oh, some of that's doing crazy stuff. Well, that's okay. I don't mind. I've got the, if any bleeds onto this, I'll just fix it. And I've got, even though this was an airbrush color, but I have the matching regular color too. That's cool. Wet blending is fun. If you've never done it before, definitely try it out. Put on some paints, make them nice and wet, and add some more, and just kind of let them kind of bleed into each other a little bit. Don't worry, do like Bob Ross and just have fun. It's a Zen thing, You can just add a little more water, push it down a little farther, pull it up, keep pulling, The wetter it stays, and there's some stuff you can add to your paint. There's thinners and things like that you can add to keep it wetter longer. Of course, that means it takes longer to dry, but that's not always a problem. It's not always a problem. I missed this, like a little bit right there. Come on, get that off. There we go. Yeah, we got it. We got it. It's okay. This is a much too big a brush to be doing this, but since it's just an endless spell and it's all magical effects and stuff anyway, like I really don't mind if like there's some smudging and stuff because it's just energy, right? So I'm like, I'm just gonna have fun with it today. Just gonna have fun. All right, let's see. You were thinking it was me for a minute that bit the paint bottle. No, I've never done that. Never quite gone quite that far. Whoops, sorry. Oh my goodness, I'm knocking everything all over the place. We got any Brandon Sanderson fans here? The December 6th, the next book of his is coming out for the Stormlight Archive. And that one is sure to be a banger. Looking forward to that one. I need to get a new model or two right before that, so I'll have something to paint while I'm listening. All right. I think we're probably just about there. I'm gonna kind of let this dry for a little bit. Just Lexi. That'll do it. The cool thing is Audible definitely works in those cases. So if you ever think Audible is just such a phenomenally good product, I love it. I love audiobooks in general. I really like Audible's format. It's good stuff. I do the year subscription, so I get like 12 credits a year. And all right, so this guy are mostly done. I am going to. CJ, did you see the new Drop Fleet edition coming to? Oh yeah. Yeah. I've heard about that, but not super well. All right, I need some gray. I need a little dark, a little darkness. Oh, okay. Let's grab some of that. Okay, I'm just mixing a little black and white for some gray tablets that are part of the stuff that's going to be in here. Most people would say, what kind of gray are you using? I'm using parts black and part white. I always mix my own colors. I don't, well, I say that. I often mix my own colors. I do have a lot of custom colors. Mixing works really good for a lot of things for me. I don't do it all the time, but I do it a lot. There we go. There's a couple other little bits in here. Oh, I just noticed. It's so funny when you're painting something. Sometimes I notice things that I wouldn't have noticed otherwise, like these little skulls that are in here. All right, and then I've got some pieces on the back side here I gotta get to. Oh, yeah. So, some pretty cool games coming out soon. I'm really looking forward to. Halo Flashpoint is one of those, which looks like it'll be really fun. There's, we're playing some Monster Fight Club's Combat Zone. I think I'm playing that this week, but they have a vehicle Kickstarter that I had pledged. At some point, that's going to be shipping out, and I don't know if that'll ship out this year. I think that's going to be probably early next year, but it's cool, like having a whole, like a vehicle-based game that still has dudes that can get out and fight. Yeah, Halo does look really light and fast. I love the idea that it's like, hey, this is just Halo Deathmatch. It's not trying to be like a board game that's like the entire story of Halo, and like it's giving you, person versus person skirmish combat using a familiar IP, characters and weapons, and a setting that is already familiar to you. I like that. And it's using going with the deathmatch mode for like a Halo game is such a great way to do it. I just, too many companies get like a licensed game these days and say, oh, okay, we're going to make basically a cooperative game where you're playing the video game on your tabletop. And I'm like, no. Like Modifius has the Mass Effect game. And now, while it looks really cool, I'm cautious about something like that, because is it going to just basically boil down to, okay, this is just a co-op, so it's really a solo game, So a lot of co-ops can turn into that, and it's not my favorite style of game. I like games where it's me versus you, or all three of us versus each other, or four of us, or five of us, all, where there's only going to be one winner. I like games where there is one winner. But ultimately, one winner is fine, but everybody who didn't win still needs to have a good time. Like if you can hit that balance where losing is still fun, then that's awesome. That's what I love about Star Wars Rebellion. What a great game that is. I talk about it all the time. It's one of my favorite games. One of my favorites. Getting all these little pieces of cement and detritus from in here. Been listening to the We Are Legion, We Are Bob, the Bobiverse saga. I'm on the 4th book of that right now. Some folks suggested. That one's really good. The Sojourn, Rob says. Okay, so I've heard of that. Is that a Star Trek thing? What is the Sojourn? Gosh, it's so close to memory. I think a lot of people I follow were involved in it or something like that. I don't know. I don't know if it was Star Trek people that were involved in it or if it was tabletop gaming folks that were involved in it. I'm trying to remember. What was the deal with that thing? Almost done with this one. I could go in there and put like all kinds of extra additional details into all of this, but I'm not going to. Like I could paint these lightning bolts gold because it's like this might have been a Stormcast temple. That's what it looks like. But I'm not gonna do that. Just keep it as keep it simple. All right. There we go. I think that's about good. This is a fun one. Dominic Keating, Malcolm Reed from Enterprise is in the second season of it. Oh, okay. So it's got some Star Trek tie-ins through the alumni and stuff like that. And that's probably where I've heard of it. It's science fiction though, right? All right. I'm letting things dry. Letting things dry. We're going to switch to some terrain before I kind of wrap things up. This is from the Ogor Maw tribes. This is the cooking, the cauldron. It's pretty cool stuff. You can power up wizards if they're close to it, and then you can also use it to like you can kind of have everybody within like 18 inches of it or something like that drink from it to heal them. And then if you kill somebody within 6 inches of it, then you get to fill the cauldron back up, and then it gives you another charge for your next hero phase where you can heal everybody again, which is kind of fun. I want it darker than that. Ooh, we got some thunder and lightning. We got some thunder and lightning. I might need to go let the dogs out before it rains. Because, again, I told you just earlier, my backyard is full of mud because somebody, being infinitely wise, decided to put down too much weed and feed and killed all my grass. Although it was mostly weeds, but at least the weeds had roots. So they were you can still walk without sinking into the mud. So I have just like little patches of like walkable area that's not mud. And it just rains so much. If it didn't rain every day, it wouldn't be such a big deal. And then I could, I mean, I planted some seed, but it's hard to plant seed when it rains profusely every day, and it's like it sometimes can get drowned out. But it's coming in a little bit. Some of the grass is starting to grow. It's Bermuda grass, though. It doesn't usually last as long as my St. Augustine will overpower it, but that's fine. I just want something in the meantime. All right, just getting the gray slab for that. Yeah. And I'm going to get some more of that cauldron gunmetal. This is, we're using Vallejo gunmetal Model Air. And this one's a fun one. I'm going to go over the whole thing, and then I can add some extra detail. And like the chains here I'll make silver so they'll stand out a little bit more over the gunmetal. And when I'm done with this will probably get some Nuln Oil because there's so many grooves and so many places for the Nuln Oil to do work. Oh, and we've got fire down here at the bottom. Oh, cool. There's a lot of detail on this piece. I didn't realize that was fire at the bottom. Well, that's clever. I should have airbrushed this. And I could have gotten in between all the chain things a little easier, but that's okay. But I like ogres. I don't really care for the Age of Sigmar design of ogres as much. They're very much like the Mongolians from Mulan. They kind of look like pirate versions of that. They have a very distinct look, and I kind of like my ogres to look a little bit more like orcs, but more like almost like half orcs. If they ever did half orcs, that would be cool, like human orcs. But yeah, I like bigger, you know, like maybe half giants. I don't know. Basically, the way the ogres looked in, I used to play EverQuest 2. The way they looked in there were pretty cool. They had two different designs. One was kind of big and bulky, and then the other one looked more like Klingons. And I liked the Klingon version the best. So if you could make, like, if an ogre and a Klingon had a baby, you know, that's what I would want my dudes to look like. Yeah, that would be cool. Or dragon men. I would love dragon men. That wouldn't be ogres, but that'd be a whole different race. But if they do dragon men, they have Seraphon in this game, which are like lizard men. But I'm like, no, I want specifically dragon men, because the Seraphon are a little tribal, and I'm like, no, I want like smart, erudite kind of dragon men. Like, we're at our dragon palace. We have dragon technology, and we have dragon light bulbs, and you know, and this is Dr. Dragonich. He is our prime dragonologist, and he's like, he turns around and he's got like glasses on, and he puts his computer screensaver on. He's like, welcome to the laboratory, you know, or something like that. We have the greatest new Stormstrike armor. You know, I don't know. I feel like dragons wouldn't be their own army, though. If they did like dragon men, it'd be like probably like a dual army. Like half, they could work in Seraphon, or they could work in Stormcast Eternals. And maybe they'd have different unit cards for whichever one you wanted to do them for. You know, that would be pretty cool. They did something like that with like Be'lakor, where he was like multi-game. He was a model that could go in 40K, or he could go in Age of Sigmar, because he was like, well, you know, I think that kind of stuff is cool. All right, I think we're mostly done with this guy. And I hear the dogs are trying to get my attention, so I'm gonna have to wrap up the live stream here in a minute. Oh, all right. That's gonna be good enough for now. I'll do the inside in a minute, but I think that's where we'll stop. Let that dry for a little bit, and we're gonna hit that with some Nuln Oil, and we'll have these guys on like social media and stuff a little bit later. So yeah, had some fun today. Thanks for hanging out and chatting. We'll talk to you guys later. Thank you so much for watching, and I will, jump in our Discord, ask any questions, or just chat, and, have a good time. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'll see you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other, and always wash your socks. See ya.